First of all, people, their desire, adult children, they want to help their parents. But you said that it's important that children put their own retirement needs first.
Yes, so you're not doing yourself or anyone else around you any good if you're making yourself impoverished by helping your parents. So when we work with our clients, we like to make sure that they realize that they really need to get their own house in order first. And oftentimes their financial picture is such that they can provide some support for their parents. So, a lot of the things that we talk to our clients about is how much money can I afford to help supplement my parents' lifestyle and for how long?
And even before that, we need to see what our parents even have.
Absolutely.
So how do we go about having that conversation? You talked about 3 different topics to talk to your parents about.
Yes. So when you think about how to help your parents, there's really 3 main things that need to be discussed. First of all, even before they could potentially run out of assets, it would be a great idea if you could have a discussion with your parents and time it at a family gathering when it's relaxed, or pinpoint a time that you want to talk to them. Find a way to do it that's comfortable for you, and there's a lot of resources online to help you kind of get some ideas about that.
And one of the things you definitely want to talk about is their income and their expenses.
Correct. So parents sometimes don't like to talk about this with their children, and children are very hesitant to bring this up with their parents because they don't want to come across as seeming like they're nosy or they're wanting to get into their parents' business. But I can tell you from experience, it will help both people greatly to, over time, get to know your parents' financial situation a little bit. Understand where their income comes from and how long it'll last. If they're spending into their savings, is their savings being used up? Are there things that they're not doing that they'd like to do? So that has to do with the expenses and the financial side, the income side of their situation.
And you also say healthcare. You've got to discuss healthcare with them.
Healthcare is critical. It's very important that children have as full a picture as possible about their children's health situation. And the reason for that is
about their parents.
Excuse me, their parents. So when people age, things tend to snowball and happen very fast. And when that happens, that's not the best time to be talking to your parents about their financial situation or other things. It's usually a period of great stress, and it's not the best time to make plans with your parents. So if you know that your parents are having some medical problems or conditions, if you can be somewhat a part of that process, meet with their physicians, understand what medications they're on, any ongoing medical problems that they have, and be involved and have a relationship with those medical providers. If something happens and there's a problem, then children are way ahead. They understand better what to do. If they come into it completely blind, it takes a while to catch up, and there's sometimes it's very difficult to do things for your parents when they're in the hospital.
Also, finally, you say a topic that needs to be discussed with your parents is the legal side of things, maybe about the will and the planning, attorneys or things like that, you said?
Yes. So if there's a situation that the parents could potentially run out of money at some point, they're way better off having a conversation with an estate planning attorney or an elder care attorney years ahead of time, because there's some strategies and techniques that elder care attorneys are very good at to set some funds aside and still have their clients eligible to receive government benefits. And I'm not an attorney, but I know that there's lots of legal ways that children can help their parents in the future. So if you can protect some of their assets and not completely spend them and have those available, that makes a big difference. Some of the other things that are really important when I recommend that my clients take their parents and themselves to an estate planning attorney is that they have a medical directive established. That's something that indicates to others what their intentions are for, if they were to become in a coma or in a state that they can't make decisions for themselves, who's going to make those decisions, what their desires are. Other important documents are a power of attorney. So if there is a power of attorney established for a child, for the parent, it makes it much easier for that child to help kind of get involved with the parent's finances if something happens and they can't take care of themselves. So those are very important documents in addition to wills and trusts.
And at the same time, it might feel for the parent like they're giving up all control to the child going through all of this and talking about their money and letting the adult child know, here's a power of attorney, so you have control at some point. So do you find that becomes a problem when trying to plan for an older person?
It's a very personal situation. Everybody's very different. Some people are very close with their parents and this just happens naturally. I would say for the most part though, it's something that gets put off. And I don't think it's necessarily because parents don't want to talk to their kids about their situation. I think they'd be happy to. I think it's just that there's a little bit of hesitation on both parts, and it tends to just get put off and put off, put off. Somebody who's in the business like myself, I'm very much in the habit of encouraging people to talk to their parents because I know the difference it can make for both people's life in the long run.
And when an adult child does go to see an elder care attorney to try to take care of all these matters, would you say it's a good idea to take the financial planner along or at least include them in that conversation?
Absolutely. So financial planners or advisors, they tend to know a lot more about their clients' lives than estate planning attorneys do. And when I say that, I mean folks that are offering comprehensive financial planning, certified financial planners, fee-only financial planners, the people that really get to know every piece of a client's financial situation. So people like me, yes, they tend to happily go along on these meetings because it does have an impact on what we do, the decisions that are made, and the help that the elder care attorney or the estate planning attorney offers the clients. I think though that it also brings a level of comfort for our clients when we do this because we know Aunt Sally and Uncle so-and-so and the people that are a piece of this, a part of the picture. We can help convey what the attorney wants to know more quickly and kind of be there to help translate what exactly the attorney is going to do for the clients. And it helps to make sure that what the client wants is what the attorney does.
Now, when looking for a financial planner, you recommend making sure the planner has certain things that will give you a green light to say, yes, this is a good person to go with.
Yes, and that can be a very challenging proposition. There's all sorts of people offering advice, financial advice out there, and I'm not trying to speak badly of anyone, but I would say that there is a real difference between a financial advisor that handles one piece of the financial puzzle for you and a financial planner who takes into account the whole picture and actually does a financial plan for you using financial planning technology. Until you do that, the decisions that you make for yourself or others, you're kind of doing it without having the full picture together. So yes, I like to encourage people to seek out certified financial planners in particular because they're the ones that are trained and educated and stay up on the topics that are important.
So one of the first things that people are going to want to know when they visit a financial planner is how much is this going to cost me? Say somebody wants to come in for a consultation and they just want you to take an overview and give some advice. And then there's the other person who may come in and say, I want you, Jud, to be our financial planner and help navigate through this sea and help us get our parents to a good situation.
Financial planners, they are finding ways now to make it affordable for folks to come in and utilize their expertise. So in the past, they tended to charge based on the amount of assets that they would manage or investments. Because not everybody has a lot of money to manage, financial planners have found ways to help others. And it's in the form of monthly fees, or it could be in the form of quarterly fees, and it could range anywhere from $100 or $200 a month to maybe $1,000 for kind of a one-time financial plan. So I would say in general, Together Planning, we start at $100 a month Most of our clients stay with us for the long run, and we help them for the long term and manage some of their money. But you can find that there's financial planners out there that will find other ways to make it affordable for you.
You made it very specific when we were talking. You said, make sure you start early. That is the key to all of this.
Absolutely. So when we're talking about children helping their parents, and if they have exhausted all of their assets, they've exhausted a lot of their choices. So it's much better to make a plan with a financial planner, an estate planning attorney, the medical staff, to try to plan early for your parents' needs. Where are they going to live? Are they going to have the resources they need to take care of themselves? What if they have a long-term care need? Who's going to pay for that? You know, and make some plans for that before they run out of assets. And you know, I can tell you from experience of helping my clients, trying to move a parent fast, it's never a good situation. It takes a lot of research and homework. You know, where is a assisted living facility that's going to be convenient for me and that they're going to like? Should we try to just maintain them in their home for, you know, a certain number of years or months? Should we bring them into our home? So, you know, there's a lot that needs to kind of be researched in every situation before it takes time.
And you have some tools that you wanted to show just to give an idea of what's out there to make this all easier for people.
Sure. So in our practice, we use a financial planning software that allows us to break down the goals for our clients based on needs, wants, and wishes. So needs are things that they have to have. So you have to be able to buy some groceries. You have to be able to pay the power bill. If you own a house, you have to pay your property taxes. So we're talking about basic expense needs, nothing fancy, but enough to be able to live on now and even in the future when inflation, you know, causes prices to be much higher. We also have to have health care. We can't do without going to the doctor. If you have to go to the hospital, you have to go to the hospital. So those are things that we have to have those. We call those needs. Wants are maybe the second layer of things that we might need to spend money on. So for our clients, many of our clients have children that they want to help with college, or they want to help pay for weddings in the future, or they might want to move to a new house in retirement, or they may want an RV, or whatever it is. So those tend to be wants. Wishes are, boy, if I could afford it, I would really love to do other things. And it may be a charity cause or a special trip somewhere, something, a gift. And a lot of times it's helping parents that falls into that category. And sometimes it's, you know, it's a want and not a wish in that situation. But in our practice, we're able to take our client's full situation. We walk through what their expectations and concerns are for the future. We talk about what their goals are, needs, wants, and wishes. We look at what their retirement income will be in the future, with if they have a pension, if, you know, Social Security, their investments, any other special assets that they may have. Maybe they have rental properties, or you know, a business that they might sell, or they may be getting an inheritance, or whatever. We look at their insurance. We look at the liabilities. So if they still have a mortgage that they're paying off, or a car payment, or some other liability. So we're able to take all of this into account with taxes and some estimates for inflation, and maybe even a higher inflation rate for their medical costs, because medical costs are rising faster than the CPI. And then we can plug in a goal for taking care of parents. When you're talking about 20 and 30 and 40 years in the future, there's a lot that can happen in that time frame. So to take all of these factors together, we use software technology to give us a probability of success. And usually that means somewhere between 70 and 90% chance that you're going to be able to meet all your goals.
And that's good.
That's a comfort zone. That's the green zone.